All right guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new video. Just a quick message here. Take advantage of your time. Start putting things into your body that are beneficial for your body. Start experimenting with the herbs. Start experimenting with the amino acids, the minerals, you name it. Just work with what you've got. Don't worry about going online and finding, oh, what's the best supplement or this, that, and the other. There's a good chance that in your home you have something beneficial for you that you can put into your system now, whether it be a bottle of magnesium, whether it be some oregano oil, whether it be some spirulina, which is what I've got right here. This is a mixture of 5 grams of creatine and 5 grams of spirulina. This is the MRM brand. I love this stuff. This is a really good company. I've used their 5-HTP in the past and a handful of other isolated supplements. But I think this is, what is this? This is 8.5 ounces, a little more than a half pound, and I believe I got this on iHerb for $11, maybe a little bit less. So, you know, if you're gonna shop for supplements and whatnot, I would strongly suggest iHerb in comparison to Amazon, because there's just been so many counterfeit products that I've bought off of Amazon, where I'll buy a product from Sprouts Farmers Market, I'll buy a product from iHerb, I'll buy a product from Whole Foods, and then I'll order one from Amazon, and the bottle looks different, the barcode's different, the capsules look different. Something really suspicious is going on there. So shop wisely. Just because you can get something in 1 or 2 days with Amazon Prime doesn't mean it's the best deal if you're not getting the right product. I'm sick of fucking Amazon. I'm just done. The only thing I use Amazon for is to buy electronics, like chargers for my iPhone, or like recording gear, microphones, things like that. But again, this is 5 grams of spirulina, you guys, and I mixed it with, if I can grab it, I mixed it with this just simple coffee frother. Put it in there and you spin it. That thing spins at a really high velocity, and this is one of the greatest tools for mixing herbs or powders into water, milk, fluids, etc. This is, I think this was like $12. Now this isn't mine at my house. I'm not at my house right now, but at my house I have something known as an Aero Latte, and I've had it for I think 2 or 3 years, the model that I have now. But before that I had the same model, the Aero Latte that I have now, and it lasted like 5-6 years. I made a video about that I think like 6 years ago, showing that particular Aero Latte. These things last a long time. Get one so that you don't have to sit there and stir into the liquid your powders. If I were to take 5 grams of spirulina and put it in this and try to stir it, there would be giant clumps. I wouldn't be able to actually stir it into the liquid, and here's some clumping right here, but compared to with the spoon, this thing is a huge advantage. Highly suggest getting one, you guys. And I weigh my stuff out with a American Weigh Systems Gemini 20, and I also have an American Weigh Systems basic gram scale that I use to weigh my stuff out. So I'm a huge fan of, what does this say on the front? Let's look. It says here that, where's the serving size? 40 servings, oh, 2 teaspoons is allegedly 6 grams. That actually sounds about right. But oftentimes what I've found is when I look at the dosage on the bottle or the powder, or the bottle or the bag, excuse me, and it says like 2 teaspoons, if I actually put it on a scale, it's off. So I like to weigh things out so I know what I'm getting, whether it's my ascorbic acid, etc., my nootropics. Let me see if I have something here, you guys. So if I'm weighing things out like psyllium, phenylpiracetam, I want to know that I'm getting the right amount, especially with psyllium. And I find that psyllium, says here a serving size is 1 level tablespoon. That to me is overkill. 5 grams is what you need. I've discovered that over the years, that 5 grams works perfect. It may not work on your digestion immediately like a 9-gram dose, but it will build up over time to the point where it will allow you to have incredible digestion without the feeling or sensation of being constipated, which 9 grams will almost certainly cause. Hope that makes sense. So this is something that I take regularly. Psyllium, some type of fiber source. Fibers like psyllium, fibers like apple pectin help bind to toxins in the gastrointestinal tract, the alimentary tract, which is the tubing from your mouth to your anus. It helps bind to metals, toxins, additives, excess crap floating around your system, undigested food, mucoidal plaque, you name it. I like apple pectin especially because apple pectin's metal binding capacity is better than psyllium, but this is cheap. So is apple pectin. I use apple pectin from Now, and I buy the psyllium husk powder from Now. And some people react better to the psyllium husk that hasn't been powdered. I like both. I think if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick the non-powdered version though. So that's psyllium. So I weigh out 5 grams a day, and I take that in a smoothie that consists of spirulina, amino acids, and a handful of other things. I'm not going to get into that right now. Now, I'm not taking the psyllium right now in my smoothie because I ate a ton of food this weekend. I ate like a heathen this weekend. There's a time and a place for that thing, ladies and gentlemen, but I have been eating a lot more lately. And tomorrow is a reset for me on Monday. I'm going to get back on the wagon. We all, sometimes you got to have some pizza. Sometimes you got to have a hamburger. Sometimes you got to get with your friends and have some popcorn. I've never been against 100% against, having some junk food here and there. If you want, smoke a cigarette here and there. Do your thing. Becoming healthy doesn't mean that you have to become a priss and hide in an ivory tower. No, but you got to have the tools to compensate for the damage that's caused. Catch my drift? Now, I know that may go against what most people think or teach here on YouTube, where they act like they're just these superior people who, I never eat pizza. I never eat this, I've never smoked a cigarette or whatever, and that's your thing. That's cool, but it's just not realistic in my opinion. We live in the real world. But I'm not saying I smoke cigarettes. I'm not saying that I eat pizza every night, but goddamn, from time to time I like to have a good time, and I like to have some food as well. And the gluten is really difficult on the digestion, so I ate some of that this weekend, and because of that I ate some food tonight. I'm not going to have some psyllium on top of it because it's going to create extreme discomfort, because psyllium, you guys, when you put it in liquid, it expands. Maybe I'll do a video and connect it to this video showing you guys what 5 grams of psyllium looks like after about 45 minutes of sitting in water. So when you take this as a powder, it goes into your system suspended in liquid and expands inside your GI tract, and it proceeds to broom through your gastrointestinal tract where it binds to poisons, etc., and helps you alleviate or remove them from your system by turning into a dump. Excuse me. Hope that makes sense. Let's put my hand in grease. But it helps turn, it binds to, it mixes with food as well and helps add solidity to bowel movements. This is very good stuff. And you want to take psyllium, you guys, once a day at 5 grams, and you should put it in a smoothie. If you're going to take this, you want to take that in a liquid as a smoothie or some type of water. Like, a smoothie works best, but you can add it to water, and that needs to be the first thing that you eat in the day, and you should wait 10 to 15 minutes after you consume that liquid. So technically not the first thing you eat during the day, the first thing you consume. You don't eat fluids, you drink them. So a smoothie would be a good way to get this. Do my venom smoothie, the raw egg smoothie. Add some spirulina, add some other things, but add 5 grams of psyllium. So long story short, I got off on a rant about that. Just start putting into your body the things that are beneficial to your system, you guys. You don't have to fret and, oh, what should I put in my body? I gotta freak out and stay up late and try to find what the best nutrients are. Oftentimes, the way that our God works is if you open your eyes and reattain some perceptual fluidity, there's usually things around you that you can start putting into your system, whether it's in a spice cabinet, whether it's in the back of some cabinet in your kitchen. There's probably something that you can consume that's beneficial. I would highly suggest, however, if you are going to invest in some nutrients, get the minerals back into your body. We've been talking about this for years. This contains minerals, amino acids, essential fatty acids, chlorophyll, etc., the spirulina, but it's certainly not enough. These pigments are remarkably beneficial and anti-cancerous. The spirulina, this helps cool the system. It's very anti-inflammatory, but it's not enough. A mineral supplement like Solaray Mega Mineral, the iron-free version, is great. It's got vanadium in it and a handful of other beneficial nutrients. My favorite mineral supplement on the market currently is ONNITS Key Minerals, which consists of calcium, magnesium, molybdenum, iodine, and boron, red marine algae, and rice hull extract. It's my favorite. It just works remarkably well. It's got a great calcium to magnesium ratio in it as well, and the 4 milligram dose of boron is going to be remarkably beneficial for charging and turning on your brain after years of not eating a mineral-rich diet. Without minerals, you're just accelerating the aging process, folks, and you're also accelerating the decay of the mind. Our mind is like a tool that is plugged into the hardware of our body. Our consciousness would be a better way of putting that. Our consciousness is connected to our consciousness is our operating software, excuse me. Consciousness is the operating software. The body is the hardware. You've got to nourish the hardware so that you can get the operating system to work properly. Now bear with me, folks. I also regularly take fish oil. Fish oil. This is just cheap fish oil from cheap fish oil from a grocery outlet. It's certainly not the best, but when you're strapped for cash, you got to do what you got to do. Some people may say that I'm crazy for taking this. I find that this stuff works just as well as the more expensive stuff. And I also take krill oil, you guys. I take what's the other one? Algae oil, a vegan form of essential fatty acids that has a much different effect than the fish oil. It's more of a cognitive booster, but I love the fish oil because it's cheap and it does a generally similar thing to the cognition in the mind. So I also, where's my Alpha Brain? I don't think I have my bottle of Alpha Brain in here. But on the regular, you guys, where's my Alpha Brain? On the regular, I take Alpha Brain. I take fish oil, either every day or every other day, it really depends. And I take my minerals, and I take a lot of medicinal mushrooms. I do my smoothies, take my algae, really basic scaffolding here, folks. I mean, even if you just did some of these things and continue to eat a suboptimal diet, it's going to be much better for you than if you didn't. And these things some of these constituents are remarkably anti-inflammatory, and that's really what gets the best of us here in this matrix. The inflammatory effects of the foods that we eat and the stress that we have. So the magnesium and the calcium, if you have a good quality multivitamin that has both at the right, or a multi-mineral that has both in the right ratios, is going to help reduce that stress. Our body in stress burns magnesium as a buffer, kind of like how a car uses motor oil to not blow pistons through the motor. I don't know much about vehicles, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. The connecting rod is connected to a piston, and the cylinder head, unless I'm thinking of the wrong thing, is lubricated with oil, because the friction without the oil causes too much friction and heat, and you're going to seize something or blow something. So magnesium works in a similar way. It's the lubrication of the cylinder head. When we're stressed, our body is so ingenious that it actually grabs onto certain minerals and burns them as a buffer, because the mineral being used can act as a buffer to the stress. I'm not just talking about emotional stress. I'm talking about environmental stress from all the aerosols, the stratospheric aerosol injections, megatons of aluminum, barium, strontium, mylar fibers, chaff, radioactive isotopes, etc., that have been sprayed into the air, including scalar waves, to, quote, combat global warming. But we all know what that stuff is up there for folks. It's human bug spray. So that's a perfect example of environmental stress. Our body is being worn down by the effects of gravity. It's being worn down from the effects of bad posture. It's being worn down from the effects of our toxic atmosphere. There are tools out there, antidotes to remedy the poison. There are tools out there, again, antidotes to remedy the poisoning. We live in a world where there is constantly a form of entropy hitting us. There is constantly waves, like the radiation of the sun, hitting us, metaphorically speaking, that's just taking us out of our element and grinding our vitality down. We have to have antidotes. We live in a NWO ran matrix grid ran by a bunch of insane mad scientists. Our environment is toxic. The water is hard. It's filled full of disinfectant byproducts, algicides, cobalts, radioactive constituents, chlorine, chloramines, etc. There is a poisoning effect, folks. There are tools to remedy the poisoning. Catch my drift? And that's really what this channel represents to a large extent. I am not perfect. I'm not a scientist. I don't have much more than a fucking high school education. But I have what I consider a strong amount of common sense. And common sense goes a lot further in this world, or it goes a long way in this world. Let's just put it that way. There are simple tools, and these are just a few of them. I wish I had more here, you guys, but this isn't my house. I'm staying here over the weekend because my brother needed me to watch his dogs. He went up north. So I only have a few of the things that I normally... I have a cabinet at the house that's fucking full of tools. I do, however, have some... let's see, I just got a message. I do have some BCAs here, some branched chain amino acids. I've got some creatine and a couple of other things, you guys. But anyways, that's about it. I don't have much more to say. I might attach a video of what I told you earlier, the psyllium, what it looks like when it binds to water or mixes with water. It goes into your system, it expands, and it moves through your digestive system, your digestive tract, and acts as a broom and picks up a bunch of waste. Excellent stuff, you guys. Psyllium is amazing. So is apple pectin. The cool thing about apple pectin is a dose of apple pectin, which is about 700 to 1400 milligrams. If you get apple pectin from Now Foods, it comes in capsules. You just take 2 capsules. This, you've got to weigh out, and it's rather bulky, and it tastes like shit unless you mix it with cacao and whole milk and honey. You can add 5 grams of this to my Venom shake, and you won't even taste it. In fact, if you let the Venom shake sit for a while with this, it'll get thick, and you can eat it with a spoon. It's fucking delicious. I'm gonna wrap this one up. May peace be with you all.